In this video, we're going to show you how to install the hood hinges on your Ford F-150 located under your hood. Now with the hood open, we do need to go ahead and disconnect our lift or our piston right here. So what we did was we went ahead and we installed a prop rod. You can use whatever you have to do this, but you do need to have something to support that hood, because once we undo this, the hood's going to want to naturally come down, and you don't want that to happen. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to use our 13mm socket, and we want to go ahead and loosen this upper nut here and this one just down below. Now we're not going to remove it, we just need to have a little bit of room to go ahead and do our next step. I'm going to bring this nut down to the point where the threads are covered. Now we're going to go to the lower one, and as we undo this one here, the hood is it may want to tilt a little bit, and that's what we want. Now at this point here, the hood is going to start to shift a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hold the back corner for now as I do this. But what you also want to do is prepare something to put under the corner of the hood back here. It could be a small block of wood. We're going to use, in our case, a little hockey puck here, and we're going to wrap it in a rag. If you're using a block of wood, you want to do the same thing. You want to protect the finish on the hood. You can see that the hood is shifting a little bit. You can see that we have some flexibility here to lift that hood up and down. That's what we want, because the hockey puck is a little bit thicker, or our rubber spacer is a little bit thicker. So we're going to lift up, and we want to lift it just enough to get that underneath and protect the corner of the hood. Now the hood lift support comes up and it's held in place by a metal locking collar right here. We're going to undo that. You want to hold on to the back of the hood, or at least watch it. Make sure that the hood doesn't want to slide back on this here or drop down. I'm going to use a pocket screwdriver to get in right behind this little metal clip and pry it out gently. Now as you pull out on this here, it's undoing the lock behind it. We're going to keep that clip on there, and we're going to pull this out towards you, just like that. And you can just bring that forward. Our next step is to go ahead and remove the two nuts on these studs the rest of the way. Now we're going to be reusing this hardware, so make sure you put it someplace where you're not going to lose it. Now as I do this here, I do want to pay attention to the hood position itself. The bracket's going to want to drop down, and the hood's going to be free. You want to make sure that it's not going to twist and start to slide back. Now let's go ahead and pull down our hinge. You want to be sure to hold the back section here just to hold it in place. Bring that down, and our hood is nice and stable. It's being held in place. Give it a little wiggle here, make sure that it ain't going to slide anywhere on you. Right there, everything looks good. Now let's move to the inside here and unbolt the lower portion of the hinge. Now we're going to use our 13mm, and we're going to loosen and remove this bolt here, and then the one further back. Now the back bolt is a little bit tighter to get into. I'm using a short extension for this one here just to clear the hood. In the back, you can still use that there, but you got to be careful of the edge of the hood right here. Spin that bolt out. Now that we have our two bolts removed here, we're going to now move to up underneath our hockey puck or our rubber spacer area here. Now we have to do a little modification here in our support. You need to grab something that you can lift the hood and support the hood. We need to remove this because now we need to access underneath the cowl to grab a 10mm bolt underneath the edge there. So I'm simply going to transition. I'm going to go ahead and put a foam block underneath here. You can use whatever you have available. Maybe have someone help you with this, because we have to get underneath this cowl here. Now we're going to lift up on the cowl edge right here, and that's going to expose the 10mm bolt down here that we need to get to. And you can lift up on that cowl edge a little bit. Go ahead and get your socket in there. Okay, go ahead and pull that bolt out. All right, now if you follow the hood hinge up, there is a 10mm bolt right here. This is the last bolt holding the hood hinge in place. Once we get this out, we're simply going to reverse the procedure. Pop that out. Let's go ahead and work this hinge out. We want to pull this out from underneath the lip of the fender, like so, and then slide the hinge out. Now before we install our hood hinge, I want to take note that right here, inside underneath the fender area, is going to be a tab. That's where our bolt goes to on the top. So we're going to install our hood hinge, and it goes underneath this. So when we put the bolt through, it's going to go through the fender tab and into the hood hinge. Let's go ahead and install it. Let's go ahead and line this up. Now that we have this set up, let's go ahead and install the bolt up underneath our cowl. Now once we get this one started, we're going to go ahead and move down and get all of the other bolts started as well. Then we'll go ahead and get the hinge lined up on the hood and get those started. And then we'll come on back and start to bolt everything down and tighten it. We're going to install our forward bolt. Let's go ahead and get the other bolts lined up here. Before even tightening these down, I want to go ahead and install the upper portion of the hinge as well. So just going to flip this up. Go ahead and line up our hood. We're just going to get the nuts started here. We're not going to line everything up yet. Just make sure we have all of our hardware started. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my 13mm socket ready. We are going to go ahead and snug these nuts down here on the upper portion of the bracket. So what we're going to do is lift up. We're going to remove that pad that we had there, that foam or whatever you have there. Let's line up the hood. And what we're going to do is line up that bracket with the old paint mark or factory marks on there. We have a ways to go before this is tight, so let's go ahead and run these nuts down. Now at this point here, you can actually slide that hood around. Get everything to line up. All right, so our nut has bottomed out here. Just give it a little bit more, maybe about a quarter turn. I did the same on the bottom one too. but we're safe to go ahead and release that hood. Everything else is installed, it's just not tight. Now that we have this lined up and secured, it almost automatically lines up the base here. But what I like to do is just gently grab that hood, lift it up, and bounce it a little bit. That'll kind of drop this into its natural place. And we're going to go ahead and secure the two main 13mm bolts. Okay. Go ahead and snug that down. If you can run that bolt down by hand, that's going to save you all kinds of wasted ratchet time. Go ahead and snug that down. Now before we secure these two here on the front and back, we're going to go ahead and slowly close the hood. We want to test the alignment, make sure that the alignment on the hood and everything, all the gaps are perfect and where they need to be. This is going to take a couple times to go ahead and do this here. You might have nailed it the first time, but we're not going to tighten these down completely yet. We do want to run them down a little bit. We're going to run these down. We just don't want these to hit the hood. So run them down, just don't tighten them yet. If you have to do adjustments, it's just two less bolts we have to re-loosen. We are going to pop our lift support back on here. So you line that up, push this on, and then push that clip on. Now we can remove our prop rod and lower the hood and check the gaps. Do it slowly, never slam the hood in case something is not lined up. You don't want to damage the fender or the paint, anything like that. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and slowly bring the hood down. And check that gap all the way up to the edge of the fender. And as you come up here, we're pretty close up here, so we can see that we do have to do a minor adjustment. Shouldn't be this close, and we'll risk chipping the paint. So at this point here, it's going to be a little bit of a process, loosening that hardware, getting it lined up, bringing it down, and double checking that. I'm going to loosen the hood. I'm going to slide the hood up a little bit. And this is what I'm doing to adjust mine. Yours is probably going to be different. Do these minor adjustments. And then once you're all done with the hood alignment here, we're going to come back and finish up by tightening down the two 10mm bolts. Now that we have our hood gap where we want it, let's go ahead and tighten down our 10 mils here. All right, this one's nice and snug. Don't forget to tuck the gasket in underneath the edge of the fender lip here. And then we'll go ahead and tighten down the lower bolt. Snug that down, and you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.